Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about something very important, and that is how can I increase my value? And this is a question that you all must ask to yourself. Before I share something about it, let me just introduce myself. My name is Dr. Rita Shah. I'm a TEDx speaker, an international keynote speaker, growth coach, and I am on a mission to empower and help 1 million women to grow in their business as well as their lives. And I'm going to talk to you in this video something very important and something that reflected me. By the way, I'm doing this video from my car. I'm waiting here for my daughter to give exam, and I thought, this is the best time for me to share what I feel, what I have learned this early morning. And I'm going to tell you a beautiful story. I think you must have heard about Michael Jordan, right? And Michael Jordan was born in 1963 in slums of Brooklyn, New York, and his father had 4 children, and the neighborhood had violence, poverty, and he didn't see any hope for his future. When his father saw that Michael seems to be a lost soul, he thought of doing something about it. And his father gave him a piece of cloth, and his father said, Michael, just tell me, this piece of cloth, what do you think is the value of this cloth? Michael said, maybe $1. Then his father says, can you go out and sell this for $2? Now, Jordan was just 13 years old, and he thought that, if my dad is saying, I must do it. So he took that as a challenge. He went out. He saw it was an old piece of cloth. Who's going to give $2 for it? So and it was a crumpled cloth. So he ironed the cloth and made it right, and it started looking a little better. He went into the marketplace, and after 6 hours of, rigorous try, finally he could sell it for $2, and he was very happy about it. After that, for every day he would see some old used piece of cloth, and he would iron it and he would sell it and sell it for $2, and he was feeling happy about himself. Almost 10 days passed, and one fine day his father called him again and said that this is a piece of used cloth, and now I want you to try and sell it for $20. Now Michael was a little taken aback. I mean, I have already sold $1 worth of cloth for $2, but how? But he thought that if my dad is saying something, maybe there is a way to do it. He took the cloth, he went out thinking about it. What can I do? He spoke to his friend and told his friend to do some painting. So his friend did some Donald Duck painting on this piece of cloth. He stood outside a very rich school where all the children of rich people were studying, and he started selling that cloth. One of the person who saw that cloth thought that his master will like it. His master was a young kid from a very rich family, so he bought that cloth for his master. And not only he bought it for $20, he gave $5 tip, because his master loved the cloth. As his master comes from school and sees that cloth or with Donald Duck there, he loved it. Now this was something, a breakthrough. $25, possibly a month's wages of his father, and Michael Jordan was just thinking about it. Anyways, time passed. Sometime later, another week, 10 days later, father calls Michael and says, what, this is piece of cloth, used piece of cloth, and now I want you to sell it for $200. Now Michael was again taken aback, but this time he didn't argue, because somewhere in his mind he had got an understanding that anything is possible. He waited. Almost 2 months later, in the same city, there was a big show. There was a very popular movie those days called Charlie's Angel, and the actress Farrah Fowler was there for the concert, and Michael was standing there and tried, from security, somehow managed. He was just 13-year-old boy, managed to reach to the actress post concert and requested to give an autograph on this piece of cloth. And Farah looked at this young innocent boy, and she thought that such a cute boy asking for autograph. She gave her autograph on this used piece of cloth, and After this, what do we find? We find Michael trying to auction this piece of cloth and yelling that this is a jersey cloth from Farah Fawcett's autograph, and who wants it? It's for $200. And it started auctioning, and eventually that piece of cloth sold for $1,200, bought by a businessman. Now, huge shift. Anyways, father calls Michael, and very close to his heart, and he asked Michael, I know you've done it so well. I gave you 3 used pieces of cloth and you sold it at 3 different values. What did you learn, child, out of this incident? And Michael says that, what, I learned that if there is a willingness, anything is possible. And father said that, of course, that's a very important lesson. But what? The lesson that I want you to learn is, if this used piece of cloth can be sold at a higher price because its value has been increased, then we all are human beings. How about increasing our own value? When we increase our value, anything is possible. Now that was something huge lesson for Michael Jordan, and from that day onwards he had positivity about future. He understood that anything is possible in his future. All that is required is he increasing his value. He went on to practice, and he became finest player in this world, known by everybody. What it actually tells us is, if I can work on myself, increase my value, sharpen my skills, my knowledge, my abilities, then my value in the market, what I am capable of delivering in the market, will be much, much higher. So the question I want you all to leave with is, ask yourself a question: how can you increase your value? Irrespective of whether you are a business owner, irrespective of whether you are into a job, you are a homemaker, anything, whatsoever it may be, how can you increase your value? How can you be more useful to this environment, to this world, to your customers, to your employers, to your employee, to your family, to your friends? What can you do such that you are much, much more in value than you think right now what you are delivering? How can you keep on increasing your value? Ask yourself, how can I increase my value? If you found this video useful, my request to you would be, like this video, share your comments. I want to know, what do you do to increase your value? What do you plan to do? I want you to write down, take a pause right now, and I want you to think and write down 3 actions that you will take which will help you increase your value in your marketplace, in your life, in your environment, wherever, whatever you are doing. So share these 3 questions that you have asked yourself, and the answers that you have got for these questions is, how do I increase my value? 3 action points. Thank you so much for watching this video. Do like, comment, and of course share this video to as many people as possible, so that I can help more people in forwarding their journey and making this planet a beautiful place to stay. Thank you so much. Bye. See you.